It was a warm Thursday afternoon in Seoul, June 29, 1995. Inside the Sampoong Department Store, the air conditioning hummed beneath soft pop music. Families strolled between luxury boutiques and food stalls, enjoying one of the city's most prestigious shopping destinations. Up in the fifth-floor restaurant, a 24-year-old named Lee Ju-yeon was working her regular shift. She was putting away extra cash to visit her sister in Busan the following month. Down on the third floor, Park Sung-ho browsed the aisles for a birthday gift. His daughter was turning 7 the next day. They were moving through their weekend routines entirely unhurried, but the concrete beneath their feet had already reached its limit. The structure surrounding them had fatally failed, and the countdown to its collapse was in its final hours. 3 days before, deep, jagged cracks had started spreading across the ceiling of the fifth floor. Maintenance crews immediately noticed these fractures and reported the spreading damage up the chain of command. The management team reviewed the widening fissures above the restaurant and then opened the floor to shoppers anyway. By Thursday, physical vibrations were humming through the entire complex. The building's massive structural load was actively shifting. The impending collapse followed a predictable, measurable timeline of structural failure, one the management team watched in real time and chose to ignore. That morning, a loud, heavy bang echoed through the upper levels of the store. Floor staff told themselves it was just noisy HVAC equipment. In reality, the building's internal support columns were actively shearing apart under the strain. As the day wore on, store executives got undeniable visual proof of the danger. The roof over the fifth floor began to visibly sink under its own weight. The people in charge knew the structure was in its death throes, but they never sounded an alarm, leaving thousands of unaware customers to continue shopping beneath a sagging ceiling. Shortly before 6 p.m., the store managers quietly evacuated themselves from the property. They left the doors open and the music playing. At exactly 5:57 p.m., the compromised roof gave way. The immense weight of the fifth floor smashed down onto the fourth. The multiplied force immediately crushed the third. In 18 seconds, the entire south wing folded inward like wet paper. Witnesses outside heard a low rumble sounding like thunder that never stopped. When the roar finally ceased, a massive cloud of dust swallowed the street. The pop music cut out. All that was left was a flattened crater and the fading voices of the people trapped underneath. The building had executed the fatal mechanics its owners set in motion months earlier. On that Thursday afternoon, it functioned as a massive concrete trap. To understand how a modern, prestigious building could fail so completely, forensic investigators sifted through the wreckage. They found that during construction, critical load-bearing walls had been recklessly removed to create wider floor plans for retail space. Then they discovered an unsanctioned, massive swimming pool installed on the roof, adding hundreds of tons of water weight the structure was never engineered to hold. But the final blow was buried in the paper trail. Official records proved the owners knew the columns were failing for months prior to the collapse. The forensic evidence led to a single conclusion: hundreds of people died because of calculated, premeditated corporate greed. 502 people died. Over 900 others were pulled from the rubble with severe injuries. Today, the site has been cleared and rebuilt. A completely ordinary, gleaming new structure stands where the department store used to be. But for the survivors living in Seoul, the lingering fear on a warm summer afternoon isn't a monster hiding in the dark. It's the sound of the silence right before everything falls. If this story stayed with you, press like. Subscribe to Dark Archives for more true stories that history tried to bury, and hit the bell so you never miss one. Share this with someone brave enough to watch alone tonight.